The worst job in hip hop? Oh, snap. What could it be? If you're new to the channel, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, notification bells on so you don't miss when I drop a new video on the road to 5K and all my OG members and new members. What's good with y'all? How y'all doing? How was your weekend? And what do you got planned for the week ahead? Let me know in the comments. But let's go ahead and check this. As a rapper myself and someone who is a fan of hip hop and partakes in it, what could possibly be the worst
I
job
don't
in
know
hip
what's
hop?
real and what's not at this point. If I ever need a ghostwriter, I need to just put the mic down. As far as anybody out here that does use ghostwriters, that's fine. But I'm telling you, I don't do it.
They basically put us in a studio, and it was like a studio camp almost. There were tents in there. They were like, "Don't leave. You cannot leave.
Literally tense.
Yeah.
Literally
you can't tell
tense.
anyone you're working on this project." Yeah. There are tents
real
in the
tense.
studio. People were camping. I
Real
slept in a
tense
tent in
vocal
the
booths,
studio.
Everything.
For years
Wow.
now, ghostwriting has been hip-hop's worst-kept secret. Everyone knows it
Oh,
exists,
wow.
yet no one truly acknowledges it or stands up to say they're the ones who keep these secret
That's
figures
interesting.
in business. And that,
The
in a nutshell,
ghostwriter, the
is
worst
due to the
job.
stigma attached to it. After all, Jay-Z, who penned verses for the likes of Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg among others, said that the reason for that is because they basically get extra cash to remain in the shadows. Or as he puts it, he gets paid a lot of money to not tell you who he writes for. But that doesn't change the fact that it's an ingrained part of the industry, because as far back as 2008, a BBC study revealed that roughly 40% of all rap lyrics are ghostwritten. Now, that study was released back in 2008, so we can only imagine what the percentages look like today, but the fact remains.
What? Yo, that is wild. Like, I have the same sentiments as Eminem. Like, I cannot even fathom that in 40%, that's a lot. And like he said, it's just all like that was in 2008. Whoa. I mean, dang, that's crazy because it's just all like that would there could be a reasoning why everything is sounding the same if like the same person is pinning all of these freaking hits and everything like that. But damn, man, that's wild. What did y'all think it was? Because even in 2008, 40%, I mean, no, it's just hip hop is one of those things where we knew about it, different things like that, but it was so frowned upon that to have ghostwriters as a rapper, like we understand with R&B and pop rock, different things like that, but it was like there was that sacredness of your own lyrics, you know? Hey, okay, I can see why that's the worst job in hip
There's
hop.
still a heavy stigma attached to it. Credibility is key in hip-hop, said BBC's Austin DeBow. In R&B, for instance, the majority of the stories are about love and they can relate to anyone. But 50 Cent rapping about being shot 9 times, that's personal. Rap lyrics should be hyper-personal and hyper-localized. Seen as a cheat code that invalidates your story, it's no wonder that the likes of Eminem couldn't even imagine turning his pad over to someone else for assistance, as he cares about his craft way too much. But at the moment, no one is more synonymous with the debate surrounding ghostwriting than Drake himself. Told by K. Dot, it ain't 20v1, it's a 1v20 if I gotta smack people that write with you. Even Rick Ross chimed in to expose that we'd never guess who wrote Drizzy's part on Sicko Mode. From Future hinting that he was behind the Feel No Ways hook, through to reference tracks emerging which showed that Lil Yachty had laid the groundwork for Jumbotron Poppin'. Among many other tracks on Her Loss, Drake is well known for employing others to help bring his music to life, and he's always found a way of evading the stigma that came with it. For the most part, Drake fans have argued that his R&B tracks should be exempt from scrutiny, and so long as he was responsible for the tracks where he was actually spitting as an MC, then he got a pass.
It's been cemented already by the guys that work with Drake, that go in the studio with him, and they're telling you out of their mouths, not me, these writers, these artists are saying the dude definitely writes his own raps. What are people talking about?
But unfortunately for Drake's stans, the fact that complete reference tracks leaked which showed that Kentucky's Vory had written the blistering Mob Ties, it presented a much bigger issue and led others to finally remove him from the GOAT discussion. But what makes it all the more disheartening are the lengths that he went to cover it up. For example, during an interview, his in-house producer Boy Wonder put forth the myth that a fired-up Drake recorded the track in one fell swoop.
From Mob Ties, he just heard the beat and he was ready to go.
Then, in an interview on The Shop, Drake stayed eerily quiet about the true origins
Liar,
of his work,
man.
and even
You lied. You lied. Like, because the thing is that the thing that's irritated with Drake, and I've said this in other videos before, is that he's credited for writing some really dope hits for Beyonce, for Alicia Keys. So it's just all like, to this extent, it's just all like, dang, what happened? That you gotta get that you could like let's just say someone else was doing a hook, maybe someone threw in a line to kind of like you might have been stuck or something, but like but all of it as an MC, Mr. Composition, I am a writer. So, and like you said, with it being personalized, all this is me. So it's so personal that I couldn't even imagine. Like I've written stuff that I had singers sing as far as choruses. I don't write nobody's verses, like I don't take no one else's verses. So it's just all like, hey, if y'all happen to vibe with it, cool. If not, well, hopefully the next song, and getting better within that. But where other people are penning and getting better and aging gracefully, you have Drake, and he's not the only one, but he's the most, as far as we've gotten proof, he's just the most exposed with it.
seemed visibly uncomfortable when LeBron James complimented Mob Ties.
What's one of our favorite songs, Matthew, now?
Sick of these.
Oh, my God.
I didn't have mob ties.
I'm sick of it. I'll hire some help.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Don't forget, this was a track which directly
Oh my
responded to Pusha
goodness.
T and Kanye after the story of Adidon. From the Mob Ties bars that alluded to his mentor Jay Prince's fearsome reputation through to the charged up bars, it seemed like he was personally reasserting himself as the genre's best spitter. So, for the world to find out that he didn't even pen these bars, it demobilized even the biggest Drake stans.
I'm still disappointed because when it comes to times that Drake got his back against the wall or got a distinct message to send, I expect that to come from the artist himself.
Yeah, seriously. That's
to
why I
come
agree
from
with
his
Act.
frustration, his aggression. I'm expecting that to be an innate thought. I'm not expecting him to be a person who's picking out of a catalog.
Beyond just feeling down by Drake's underhandedness, Act also took aim at sloppiness in his writing camp because, at this point, the frequency of Drake's leaks are getting embarrassing.
I think if anything, we should shame Drake for this. Either stop being sloppy, because these are leaking. This is an industry standard, but only yours is leaking. So we should shame him. We also should shame him for his laziness. Because not only his laziness in creating music, his laziness in allowing it to be leaked. You're the biggest rapper in the game. Why is creating and sending it via email? Why not just on your hard drive?
Now using cheat codes to remain relevant, it could be argued that this is a reasonable thing for an artist like Drake, whose musical output far exceeds his peers. But, as you all know, Drake's use of ghostwriters, both for R&B and rap tracks, predates this era. Because if anyone knows the pitfalls of ghostwriting, it's Atlanta's Quentin Miller. In case you forgot, it all started with a tweet from Meek Mill. Stop comparing Drake to Me Too. He don't write his own raps. That's why he ain't tweet my album, because we found out. He ain't even write that verse on my album. And if
Quentin Miller just recently dropped the album too, or a track.
Drake issued a statement trying to save face after being caught red-handed for using ghostwriters throughout. If you're reading this, it's too late. Since then, he's continued to give himself a pass for what happened and operate under the mindset that if everyone else
such a liar, master manipulator.
On I think 4 or 5 songs on that record. I pulled my weight when it came to my pen. It wasn't like I needed somebody to facilitate entire ideas. We worked together. If I need to be the poster child that took all those hits for all my peers hiding behind me that do the same thing every album, that's fine, I'll do it. Because there's a lot of people that link up with other people and make records that you guys love.
Although it brought momentary criticism to his door, he really wasn't the one who came out worst from the situation. Instead, it was Quentin Miller who was essentially run over by the drama surrounding it. From getting beat up by Meek Mill to essentially being labeled as the MC who sacrificed his career for Drake, Quentin has since opened up about how he was taken advantage of.
Yeah, Wonder was like, yo, with this 10 band song, he's with this hard. I was really excited. I thought I was gonna have a Drake feature because at the time Drake was just doing random features for just up and coming artists. I thought I was about to be one of those lucky artists, and yeah, it turned out to be what it was.
Working on a minimum of 6 songs for
Which
Drizzy, which have been streamed in the billions.
It's crazy because it's just all like, that's one of the main things that Drake stands love to say is like his output, his output. But it's not, yeah, you can sit up there and go through a catalog and get in the studio and do that, you know, and just put out a bunch of just stuff like he's been doing. But how many of those are actually hitting? Before we get into that, this video is sponsored by me. Hey, if you want to dive into new music, I have a catalog. Yeah. These are not singles, these are albums. But more recently this year, I did release an album called Tame Chaos. So you can listen, stream, download, purchase, all of that in the link in the description. And just, you know, check it out because I want to see if people are actually seeing this and going to the site. So anyways, guys, you know what I mean? That's why it's just all like, it is a mess. It is a mess. I can see why he said this was the worst job in hip hop, being the ghostwriter. And it's just all like, for that to be a known job, you know, so no one's supposed to know who's leaking all of this stuff, you know. But I'm kind of glad because, you know, sometimes people will, we're always trying to compare ourselves and being like, oh, I'm not doing this and this and this and this. And that's why it's important to not, because you just don't know. You got somebody who is paying people basically for their tracks. You know, they heard the track, it was just like, hey, you know what? Let me go ahead and get that. Like what Bill was just saying, he's just all like, yo, I thought I was gonna get a Drake feature, and he's just all like, nah, I'm gonna take the whole song. You know, the fact that he didn't write Mob Ties, the fact that he's just blatantly lying, you know, everything Kendrick has been saying, that's what makes it so wild because it's just all like, ugh. And what would be crazy is if the tracks that he's been releasing have been the ones that he's been actually writing, and they just have been that garbage. It's just all like, damn, what happened to your pen game, son? I just remember him, the infamous Blackberry freestyle where he that's right is forever just in my mind. Anyways, I'm gonna leave this full video so that way y'all can check it out if y'all want to. But what do y'all think of ghostwriting being the hardest job in hip hop? And what are your thoughts on MCs, rappers using ghostwriters? You know what I mean? Like, what? Like I said, I know it exists, and probably for a lot more than we even know, but it's very, very interesting. But hey, it's Mr. Composition, the MC that writes fiction, back at it with another reaction. Make sure to like, subscribe, notification bells on so you don't miss when I drop a new video. We on the road to 5K. Appreciate y'all for the love and support. Make sure to check out the description for my music, books, comics, and more. All right, y'all. Peace.